In the land of the rising sun, where mountains touch the sky and cherry blossoms fall like silent snow there, existed a class of warriors known as the samurai. They were not just soldiers, they were the living embodiment of honor and discipline, trained from childhood to master the art of war and the art of peace. Their lives were guided by the code of Bushido, the way of the warrior, which taught loyalty, courage, and self-sacrifice. A samurai would rather die than live without honor. Their swords were extensions of their souls, each katana forged with care and spiritual purpose. They believed that the blade held their heart and their destiny. The samurai were born into a world of conflict and beauty. They served their lords, the daimyo who ruled over lands and armies. Every day was a test of faith and strength. They practiced kendo, kyudo, and yai, the disciplines of the sword, the bow, and the quick draw. They meditated under waterfalls and studied poetry. To balance their spirit, they wore armor made of iron and silk, designed to move like the wind and strike like lightning. Their helmets were decorated with symbols of power: dragons, demons, and moons. They fought in battles that shook the earth and left legends that still whisper through the bamboo forests. The code of Bushido was their law. It demanded that a samurai show compassion to the weak and respect to the strong. They were taught that true strength comes from control, not rage, and that a calm mind can cut deeper than any sword. When their lord called, they answered without hesitation. When their honor was challenged, they fought without fear. If defeat was certain, they chose seppuku, the ritual of self-sacrifice, to preserve their dignity. Their blood was the price of their pride, and their death was a statement of unbroken faith. Even in their final moments, they found beauty in the falling petals of the sakura tree. As centuries passed, the samurai changed with the world. They became scholars and governors. They studied strategy and philosophy. They built castles and wrote poems about the moon and the sea. Their presence shaped the culture of Japan. Their discipline inspired art, and their honor inspired generations. Even when firearms arrived and the age of the sword began to fade, the spirit of the samurai remained. They adapted to new times, but never abandoned their principles. The last samurai stood against modern armies, not for power, but for tradition. They fought knowing they would fall, yet they fought with pride. Today, the legacy of the samurai still breathes in the heart of Japan. Their stories live in films, books, and memories. Their image is one of discipline and inner peace. They teach that honor is not about glory, but about truth. That courage is not about strength, but about purpose. That a man or woman who walks the path of Bushido walks with balance between life and death. The samurai were not gods. They were humans who chose to live by a code that made them greater than fear. Their spirit still stands in the wind that blows through the bamboo and in the silence that follows the draw of a sword.